rooftop dome, concrete walls, yeah, it's my home. Stockpile stacked with rations tight, prep for the dark, we'll light the fight. Forage the woods, take what I need. Off-grid living, no time for greed. Barter goods in the shadow shade. Tactical steps in plans I've laid. Back to the bunker where the truth won't bend. Water and food where the road might end. Bug out bags by the door, stand tall, prepared for the fall. Yeah, prepared for it all. Generators hum, a comforting sound. Blackout nights when chaos surrounds. Seeds in jars, yeah, we're growing life. Homestead and strong in a time of strife. No high-tech wires, no web to roam. Resilience beats the world unknown. Hands in the soil, hearts in the fight. Staying ready every day, every night. Back to the bunker where the truth won't bend. Water and food where the road might end. Bug out bags by the door, stand tall, prepare for the fall. Yeah, prepare for it all. Back through the bunker where the truth won't bend. Water and food where the road might end. Bug out bags by the door, stand tall, prepare for the fall. Yeah, prepare for it all. Prepare for it all. When central power rules the game, when thoughts controlling freedom's name, when the governed lose to government might, tell me who's got.
Good morning, everybody. Hopefully, you guys had a great Tuesday. And obviously, today is Hump Day. That's right. All right, let's see here. So I don't sound too much like a video DJ shock jock. Let's see here. Getting started. Looks like Pilgrim. First at 5:13 p.m. yesterday. News number 2. And alrighty then, you are the turd. Deterred. All right, we also have West Virginia Pappy, not a sponsor. Ian's in the house. Bradley Collins, Light Raider, Cindy Hoffman, Deanna, Debbie, Catitude, Tucson Prepper, Will Smith is here, and Miko Wolf. And we got Annie G and Vegan Cookies. Good reviews has showed up. Good to see you guys all. And I've got the poll question. I got to fire up for you real quick here. Hopefully, you guys are having a great time. So yesterday's live stream didn't happen because I was in like major brain fog. I have these moments of clarity, like right now I'm kind of in one. But yesterday was extremely bad, extremely bad. I think I came out of it around 3 o'clock. But I'm not sure if it's lack of caffeine or if it's just my body going through all of the changes. So far, I've lost about 8 pounds. Um, Got the poll question up there, and what is the biggest prepping mistake? We're going to say it's what is your biggest prepping mistake is what I should have said. And the answers are focusing only on major disasters, neglecting practical bug out plan, weak defense strategy, and insufficient food production. Jim Bowski, good to see you, bro. Good to see you. And yes, I'm still drinking nothing but water. Today I get to drink some what is it called? Bone broth. I'm gonna have some bone broth around 3 o'clock because I've got to have my brain performing properly for the trivia night that we're going to be going to. But yeah, enough about me. Sweet, that is water. That is water that is lost. Yep, to an extent, absolutely correct. Absolutely. But it also eats fat too. There's a lot of science involved here. All right, let's see here. I'm going to let me check this real quick. I want to make sure this is all working properly. It appears to be. Let me push that button over there. And yes, we are operating. All the gauges are green. All the gauges are green. Okay, guys, let's see. I've got some sound going on in the background of this other one. Let me turn that off. There we go. Okay, dynamite. All right, so obviously, for the replay crew, don't forget to find those blue numbers that are in the video description. I reset those directly after from 0 to their actual correct time once I'm done with the live stream. Okay, guys. So one of the things that I was looking at over the past couple of days is it's not just that people are making mistakes, but it all started with the defense of our homes, and then it kind of rolled right into different prepper mistakes. And so we're going to cover some of those things, and we're also going to talk about not just those mistakes, but some of the defensive mistakes that are made, and even some some expanding stuff if we have time about how to fix those problems, to fix those problems. Good morning, Miko, and good morning, Blaine. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. All right, so I need to click this over here. There we go. So you might be thinking wrong about prepping now. So some introspection is a vital mental exercise. If you don't know what that is, that means looking within, introspection. Yet it's far less common than physical workouts aimed at keeping the body fit. The principle of no pain, no gain, it applies equally to introspection as it does to physical exercise. But people often find it easier to endure physical discomfort than deeper emotional pain that self reflection can bring. That's right. It's hard to look at yourself in the mirror sometimes and go, I'm really screwing this up. Now, many avoid looking inward, preferring to blame external factors of their challenges. The tendency is pervasive across various groups, including those who prepare for emergencies, like us. As social norms often encourage deflecting responsibility outward. Now, avoiding an introspection can hinder effective preparation, as it prevents individuals from critically assessing and refining their survival strategies. Now, for preppers, effective planning demands constant reevaluation to identify weakness and opportunities for environment. Failing to do so risks catastrophic failure, potentially endangering lives. Changes in circumstances such as new risks, family dynamics, financial situations, or even expanded knowledge, and it can render initial plans obsolete. Now, preppers must regularly scrutinize their strategies to ensure they remain robust and adaptable, as overlooking these steps could lead to critical oversights. And so, what I've basically just spit out to you guys is the fact that you need to reevaluate never don't become complacent. Don't become complacent. There's always a better way. You may have it, but don't become complacent. All right, let's see here. Scanes Girl says I can barely hear you. Okay, let me check my audio real quick here. I'm gonna check my audio and properties, and it says that I am using the appropriate microphone. It says that I'm using the appropriate microphone. I don't know what the problem would be. And I've got the microphone maxed out. So, maybe you want to check something, Scanes. How am I sounding, guys? Am I 5 by 5? Let me know in the chat, please. I'd appreciate it. Let's see. Microsoft 100% because it's trusting the wrong people. What's up, Lazy? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good morning, America. Hit that like button. Willie says, in the listen unless the phone rings notification warnings. Gotcha. Gotcha. We're going to give it a couple seconds to so you somebody can give me a 5x5. That way I can move on here. Dogwater Tactical, good to see us. Scanes, try resetting YouTube. It's worked for me in the past. Light Redder says audio is low. Is your hearing aid turned all the way up? That's the question. Deanna says that we are 5x5. Nothing has moved, nothing has changed. Um, so I don't know. I don't know what the dealio is. Okay. With that said, um, focusing exclusively on catastrophic, like world-altering events, can skew preparation efforts. These major disasters, while compelling, often overshadow more common threats like floods or wildfires. Two by four. Good job, Egan. Good job. You know, an overemphasis on such scenarios may lead to plans centered on static solutions like urban homesteading, which may not suffice if a disaster forces relocation. While preparing for major events encourages stockpile essential supplies, these are often stored at home, leaving preppers vulnerable if they must evacuate. A balanced approach, addressing both catastrophic and localized disasters, ensures greater resilience. So basically, we're talking about what's your backup plan. It's like, well, my plan is to be here at my house because that's where my stuff is, and I'm 100% behind you. But what's your plan after that? What is your plan after that? Devil Dog Prepper, good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. It's I haven't seen you since Christ was a corporal. I mean, come on, man. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you're doing you. And Pilgrim, you were the first. I did identify you as the first at 5:13 p.m. last night. Okay, so I'm going to take a sip of this not coffee and we're going to continue on. Now, sometimes, is tunnel vision in prepping manifests in various ways, such as fixating on one type of disaster for the exclusion of the others. A good, for instance, for that is someone in a hurricane-prone area might overlook the risk of wildfires. Alternatively, tunnel vision can occur when preppers overemphasize one aspect of preparation, like food stockpiling, while neglecting the other critical areas, such as water purification or medical supplies. This is particularly common among novice preppers, but even experienced ones may fail to diversify their efforts, leaving gaps in their overall preparedness. Interesting, interesting, right? Okay, I'm going to move the mic closer to me. There we go. I moved away from it there for a second. Let's see here. The last time I was on was a program you had on. I got you, Light Raider. Uh, Closing and reopening helped increase the volume. All right, what else we got sliding in there? Tactical Muffin. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Tactical Muffin. All right, so many preppers they neglect creating a practical bug out plan. Is this important? This is not important. It was actually so that was my my warning, or that was my notification that I was going live 15 minutes late. Gotta love it, man. Gotta love it. Like I was saying, many preppers neglect creating a practical bug out plan. A robust plan goes beyond simply leaving town. It requires a prepared destination, equipped with supplies for extended survival. While bugging in is often the preferred strategy, certain disasters like floods or fires may necessitate evacuation. Without a clear destination and sufficient resources, preppers may find themselves as unprepared as those who never planned at all, despite having a bug out bag. That's some pretty. It's a pretty. There's some pretty powerful words there. You may actually find yourself more unprepared than anybody else because you didn't think of all the options. You didn't think of all the options. All right, Rose says, may just be issues on YouTube app and had to raise my volume higher and well, it's clear, just wanted to hear while we talk. There we go. Double Dog said, SHTF isn't always war or weather. I'm currently experiencing one. Bad brain surgery last year, and now I've lost my job. Good thing I have been preparing for bad times for a while. On to the next thing. Yeah, I mean, that all super sucks, man. That all super sucks. Um, You better get in. You better get yourself in on some of that government money. If you can't work because you got a bad brain, you better get on it. All right, that's what the programs are actually for. Tuck V is in the house. Good to see you, bro. Watching for the People's Republic of Michigan, feeding 6,000 cows. I wonder if you have to like copy and paste that every time, or do you actually like type that out every single time? Inquiring minds want to know. Want to know. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about defensive planning. So, defensive planning is another area where preppers often fall short. Some assume that owning firearms and ammunition is sufficient, envisioning themselves as capable of single handedly fending off threats. Others overcommit to defense, neglecting other essential preparations. Now, uh, effective defense requires not only weapons and skills, but also a coordinated team effort. Without a survival team or a strategy to unite neighbors for collective defense, preppers may struggle to protect themselves and their resources during a crisis. Interesting. Interesting. I can hear. The stream is great. Thank you very much, Shabowski. I appreciate you. I'm going to go ahead and check the poll. And the poll says the question in the poll: what's the biggest prepping mistake? 33% believe focusing on major issues. 28% say neglecting a practical bug out plan. 22% say insufficient food production, and 17% say weak defense strategy. Let's see. Wait, 6,000. Wait, 6,000. When did you get another 3,000? Cuckv got the meats. He's got the meats. I know, right? Okay, so moving along. And be honest with you guys, this I feel like we're moving kind of fast. We're only 18 minutes into this, and the chat is I don't know, it's there's nothing substantial in the chat, but we're going to keep going anyway. So, long-term survival planning is inherently challenging due to unpredictable nature of future scenarios. Now, preparing for extended disruptions such as prolonged power grid failure requires anticipating a wide range of contingencies. Many preppers question their readiness as it's impossible to account for every variable. The key is to continually refine plans based on new information and to acknowledge that no plan is ever complete. In fact, most plans fail the second you step off. So this ongoing process is going to be critical to addressing the complexities of long-term survival. Now, food production is a critical yet often underdeveloped aspect of prepping. While many preppers maintain small vegetable gardens and preserve their produce, these efforts are typically insufficient for long-term self-sufficiency. Without plans to significantly scale up food productions, potentially converting entire yards into gardens, preppers risk food shortages during extended crisis. Ensuring access to seeds, tools, and knowledge is essential for sustainable food security. Now, if you're not trying to grow something, if you're not trying to grow something, you're wrong. I mean, I don't have access to lots and lots and lots of things to grow, but I got giant tomato plants growing in my damn window right now, guys. It's just that easy. Step one, look for holes in preps. Step two, find ways to fill holes. And a bug out plan is something I have neglected. I've got you. It's actually very people normally do neglect it. They have bug out bags, but they have no plan to go with the bag. All right, Miko says if you're Amish or a Mormon long-term prepper is the way of life, learn from them. It's great to learn from them, but hey, what? Okay, okay, Miko. So SHTF just kicked off. I turned the live stream off. Let's go learn from the Amish. It's a little late. It's just a little late. All right, let's see here. We are we're guys, we are cranking through this live stream. We're cranking through this live stream, and I don't know if it's because you guys are writing everything down I say. I'm not exactly sure, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And I've told you guys before, if I run out of content, and I know exactly how much it takes to fill up an hour, then the live stream gets shut down. It's that easy. It's that easy. Okay, so Bradley says, yes, Hailstorm pretty much set me back a couple months, destroyed my celery plants and some of my other crops. Yeah, I mean, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. But I guess the real question is if you got right back in. You know what I'm saying? If you just got right back in, if you weren't sitting around looking at wounds too long, and you just immediately took action to solve that problem, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you couldn't plant exactly what you wanted to plant. Maybe you needed to plant something new. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there's still time in the season. Maybe you'll just have a late harvest. You know, but did you get right back in? And I think that's what matters. I think that's what matters. You know. Also, insects become a major issue when gardening. It's like a lottery. Yeah, you hit one bug and you get, oh yeah. My biggest problem is has always been the damn worms. You know, those I'm not sure what they're called, but they pretty much just live underneath the leaves and they eat like specifically your tomato plants. And you just can't. You just got to like go in there every day and look for these things. But I mean, listen, we live in a modern world where we do have some of these powders and sprays that we can use that aren't going to kill us in the end. You know what I'm saying? If you want your stuff to grow, you know, and I can't remember. Somebody put in the chat the name of that powder that you can sprinkle on your plants and you can sprinkle on the ground and it keeps all the bugs away from it. I want to say it's like Seven Dust. I think it's called Seven Dust. We use the hell out of that stuff on our plants. Let's see. I've got more starting in the seed box today. There you go. Well, that's great. That's great, man. Yeah, hornworms. There you go, Debbie. There you go. Um, but the other alternative is, you got those seeds started, and that's great. But what about like maybe just going to Walmart or Tractor Supply or wherever and just buying a bunch of plants that they're already grown, they're already ready to be put back right into the garden. You know what I'm saying? And then it's almost like you didn't even have a problem. You just threw more money into it. So crushed red pepper works well too. What's the crushed red pepper work well on dog water tactical? I'm serious. Does it keep the hornworms away? Does it keep the other bugs away or what? Beecher, good to see you. I haven't seen you forever, bro. Bird feeders are great at attacking birds that eat worms. There you go. Yes, seven dust, but it's not organic. I got you. And I know there are other organic things out there, but seven dust just seems to really, really work. Um, let's see. Skane says LP seems to be the only YouTube channel that is hard to hear. Going to switch to my phone because I am multitasking. Okay. Doug Water Tactile said I used it in chicken feed to keep bugs and mice out. So you just fed it to your chickens? And well, I won't say you fed it to your chickens because I think I've done that before. But it's not about going through the chicken, it's about keeping the other critters out of the feed. Is that what you're talking about? Because I remember using it back when I had a whole buttload of chickens. I think I tried it like once. Bradley says I have grow lights and could grow celery indoor. Oh yeah, there you go. But can you survive on fiber water? Do it. Grow more stuff, bro. Let's see here. I may have to start doing my what do they call it? Uh, uh, my sprouts again. I may have to start doing my sprouts again. Chickens aren't affected by the spice at all. There you go. I love it. Let's see here. Uh, I can never say that, Ian. I'm surprised you could write that. Diatomaceous earth. I know what you're talking about. We use it in a lot of things in the prepper community. Uh, peppers. Oh, that's right. That's why I was doing it. Oops. Absolutely. And good to see you because you know what? I'm still in top chat. Oops. See what I'm saying? You don't show up and I get all screwed up, man. I'm dependent on you. You got to be around here to keep me straight. But yeah, I remember. I remember that. That's why I did it because they weren't laying. I found out later it was a snake that was stressing them out. But and stressed chickens don't lay eggs. I don't know why. You would think they would just come right out whether they liked it or not, but apparently not the case. Apparently not the case. All right. All right, guys. Let's see here. We have reached the halfway point here. I'm oops. Yeah. Well, don't worry about it. Oops. I have not turned the role into the vice president or principal yet, so you're okay. I got you checked down, man. You're good. You're good. Okay. Looks like we've reached around the halfway point. I feel like we're going to run out of material before we get to the full hour, but so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to screw it. Let's do it. If you love your country, put a number one in the chat. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to drink some of this not coffee. Oh, it's so good. It's so good, right? I'm going to talk some smack. I'm going to read you stuff because it's an educational channel, and then I'm going to pay the bills. And yes, I'm going right to Refuge Medical. All right, guys. The reason I went to Refuge Medical is because I got an email from them. I think it was this morning. They're they've actually got a new product. It looks like it actually is pretty. It's that time of the year where people start to go on hikes. Okay, and so they've come up with like this hiking kit. They're calling it the Trailblazer kit. Now, um, let's see here. You didn't head into the woods expecting trouble. Most of the time, you expected a good day, a solid hike, and memories made. And that's exactly how it started. Blue skies, the sound of boots and the trail, kids laughing. But nature doesn't run on your schedule. A scraped knee, a dizzy spell from the heat. They probably weren't part of the plan, but they happened. And when they do, you should have brought, or what is it? You brought with you what you brought with you becomes what you depend on. You pull out your trailblazer kit, clean the wound, stop the tears, and keep moving. Later, the sun's beating down, and one of your crew starts showing signs of heat exhaustion. And the hydration set isn't just smart, it's essential. Now, what am I talking about, guys? I'm talking about the Trailblazer kit. The Trailblazer kit, it's not cheap, but it looks like it actually comes with a water bottle, lots of medical stuff to take care of everything from boo-boos to deep lacerations, and even some hydration powder. Now, you can get that if you go over to refugemedical.com. And now they're saying to use the code TRAIL to save it looks like about 30 bucks. It looks like about 30 bucks. But do me a favor, try and double tag that. Try using local prepper and to see, go back and forth to see which one saves you the most money. I'm not sure. Use the one that saves you the most money. There is a link in the description. Use that link because I'll get my 32 cents every time you spend $5 million. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and roll back. And we should be in chat now. Okay, we're gonna do. I'm always not in the right spot. I'm always not in the right spot for this using the chat feature. And then we're going to go ahead and check the poll. And the poll question is, what's the biggest prepping mistake? Focusing on, looks like yeah, it's kind of split. We got several votes. And man, I can't even tell you because it's like 27%, 27%, 27%, and 19%. But I can tell you that weak defense strategy is the 19%. I can tell you that. So I'm not even going to finish reading that. Mountain lion on your back. Yeah, that kit's not going to save you, but it might help later on if you survive. Let's see. Rose says use raw wool fleece about the garden will help retain ground moisture. Too many grubs, snails, or other creepy crawlers don't like it and won't crawl over it. Huh, interesting. I've never heard about raw wool fleece. Interesting, interesting. Okay, with all that said, let's go ahead and move on. So, what we need to do is recognizing a disaster as it unfolds is a critical skill that many preppers lack. Now, slow onset crises such as pandemics or financial collapse may not resemble traditional disasters like floods or earthquakes. During that thing that we can't talk about, many failed to treat uh, empty store shelves or business closures as disaster signals, leading to unnecessary hardship. Now, preppers must train themselves to identify early warning signs and act decisively, utilizing their stockpiles rather than waiting for a crisis to escalate. Looking for the signs, looking for the signs. And here's the thing, looking for those signs is more about situational awareness than anything else. And then it's not about, oh my God, here it comes. You know what I'm saying? These crises, they come at us like a wave. And if you've ever spent any time in the ocean, you know that like a wave, when a wave is building and you're in front of it, you can feel that pull. And those are the signs. Okay. And then when the wave crashes over, okay, or you dive through it, whichever one, whatever your skill level is, and then on the other side of it, it's going to be smooth, okay, or maybe it'll start to pull again. But either way, that's the way you need to think about these crises. Crises come in waves, but you've got to learn to feel that pull because if you don't, you're just going to get bashed. You're just going to get bashed. Let's see. I didn't send, and I was hands free. Okay, that sounds personal. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into some recommendations for effective prepping. Now, to address these common pitfalls, preppers should adopt a proactive, comprehensive, and adaptable approach to their preparations. We're going to talk about some expanded recommendations to enhance your preparedness. And we're going to start with regularly reviewing your plan, which nobody does. If you have a scheduled plan review cycle, like maybe it's every month or every 3 months or every 6 months or every year, put a one in the chat. If you do not, put a zero in the chat. Not a sponsor. I appreciate you too, bro. Okay, so regular reviewing that plan. Now, preppers must maintain a routine for evaluating their survival strategies, ideally every 6 months or after significant life changes, kind of like moving or a job or loss or even new family members, This involves assessing supplies, skills, and potential risks specific to their region. For example, reviewing whether food stockpiles align with current family needs, or updating evacuation routes based on new infrastructure can prevent outdated plans from failing. Basically, if you move, if you get a new kid, you adopt somebody, granny moves in with you, these are all going to change your preparedness requirements. Okay. Now, if you've been planning for granny to move in with you during the apocalypse anyway, then you're probably all set. Okay. But maybe you didn't plan on mama getting pregnant. You know what I'm saying? And so that's going to change things. So, some things to think about. Some things to think about. We got a lot of zeros in the chat, guys. We got a lot of zeros in the chat. Something to think about. Maybe set aside an hour like this weekend and just maybe that's your homework. Just set aside an hour this weekend to review your stockpile and see if you think you are where you really are. Now, using a checklist to track all survival categories food, water, shelter, security, and medical ensures nothing is overlooked. Incorporating lessons from recent disasters, such as the supply chain disruptions, can further refine